Los Angeles, your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow, take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Hallelujah. In a gut-wrenching Game 5 that made me physically ill while I was trying to run our 4th annual Rocky Horror Picture Show at Ellis Island. Thank you for all those who were able to show up tonight. We sold out. That was a roller coaster. That game was like two different games. And it wasn't like when I'm at home. How you doing, Brad? It's not like when I'm at home or somewhere else where I can walk away, or when I'm at the office, I can change the channel and turn it. We were in a casino about to do a Halloween performance of our show. There's TVs everywhere. There's one giant one right in the performance area that our Rocky Horror Picture Show would have been projected on. But because there was a sporting event on, they kept it on. So I experienced that entire game, and that was gut-wrenching. Jack Flaherty, you're lucky this turned out way, because you gave us absolutely nothing in 2 innings. This cat gave up 5 runs in 2 innings. And it was like, oh, here we go. And then there were, of course, because we're in Vegas, there's Yankees fans here, and there's a bunch of them there. They could tell I was a Dodger fan, and they just were letting me have it, boy. They were following me throughout the little performance area. Hey, you all right, man? Hey, maybe next year. And then a little Yankee accent or a little New York accent. I'm like, you sons of bitches, you're down 3-1. You're down 3-0. You got a couple of beers in you and some home runs and whatever. You know,
Oh, I think William froze. Okay, well,
get that off.
your fly came up, so he was in the dugout.
Whatever. So the Dodgers fans we were just all just moribund. We were just like, oh shit, this is gonna be a long ass night. And then the 5th inning came, and the Yankees just can't field the baseball. That was the biggest problem tonight. You're playing professional baseball, and you're in the World Series. 3 errors in the inning, and the Dodgers scored on each and every one of them. They tied that game up. And then when the Yankees went ahead, it was 6-5. And I'm like, here we go. Now we're starting to count the outs. I don't feel like dealing with a game 6. Dodgers came in, 2 sacrifice flies, 1 for the tie, 1 for the lead. They used everything that they had. Thank goodness there wasn't a game 6, because there wouldn't have been anything left. Walker Buehler who would have been due to start Game 7 had it gone that far, came out, got the last 3 outs. And like I said, it was like, a tailspin and a launch at the same time watching that game. I told you I wouldn't be on the air if they lost because I would probably damage this computer. If they did win, I'd have a burst of energy. So it's a free night tonight. We can talk about whatever. There's no real topic tonight. I just wanted to get on the air because I said I would. If they won, I got the game replay up on the screen and get my hats, get my stuff, So I'm happy. So let's run through the chat.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, as you just saw there, your fly has a first-hand report from the dugout.
That fly is dead, by the way. So if you're that fly that inspired this, you're dead. You're talking to me. I killed that motherfucker.
Oh, you did? Okay. As Seka says, on the stage 26 years ago, John Carpenter's Vampires was released. Yes, it was.
It could have stayed unreleased.
not your favorite. Not your favorite of his.
Least it's one of my least Carpenter films. It doesn't feel like a Carpenter movie to me, and I don't know. I can't even put into words what that may mean. I've just watched enough Carpenter movies, and the ones I don't like just don't have that feel to them. Like Escape from New York, I cannot stand those movies. And Big Trouble, I think did he do Big Trouble? That was him too, right? Him and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it was Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah,
I can't stand those movies because they don't feel like what I feel like Carpenter movies would be. This was his genre. I just never got that feel.
Brad, praise the fact that no, we're not going to praise that because that's not praiseworthy. We're not going to praise that because it's not praiseworthy. In fact, if anything, it should be a day of mourning, the day that Scary Movie 6 was announced. And listen, as far as I'm concerned, the Wayans brothers, they stopped being funny like as soon as In Living Color ended.
Oh, no, that's not true. Well,
that is so true.
I'm not a good judge. You're saying they ain't been funny in 30 years? Wow.
Damn right. Sorry, because that's around the time they start. No, they had the Wayans brothers after that, and then they went to the Scary Movie after that. So, yeah, history definitely supports me there. And also, I haven't seen White Chicks. I've never seen White Chicks. I've heard that Terry Crews is the best thing. And by the way, that's also after White Chicks. Like, what happened to Shawn Wayne? Because I never saw Shawn Wayans again after that. Anybody know that he just kind of retired, but now he's coming back for Scary Movie 6? Oh. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it is. Sorry, Chappie. It's like, you're not going to beat me into submission about giving undue praise to the Scary Movie franchise. Oh, I do fourth? Okay. And that was a long time. I was in high school when that came out. No, we're not doing a watch party of White Chicks, guys. Stop with the watch parties of bad comedies.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
You have to unload the Brink trucks preview to sit through that movie.
And anyway, didn't you say it's like, okay, we're sticking to sci-fi, horror, and fantasy? Well, that's none of the above, so. Yeah. No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. No. Okay, now you guys are just turning this into a big referendum on Scary Movie.
All right, when I said open topic, I didn't mean bullshit. Come on, guys.
Because Chappie brought up Scary Movie because I knew he wasn't in the stream last night. I knew he was super later. He was gonna he was gonna come out. He was like, "Oh, Brad, aren't you thrilled the Wayans brothers are not only we're getting Scary Movie 6, but the Wayans brothers are getting the band back together for it?" And again, as I said the other night, and I will repeat this anytime we discuss this topic on any stream anywhere. Part one reason among many why it's like I continue to be an advocate for the completion, restoration, selling, resolution, whatever you want to call it, the Snyderverse, is because I refuse to live in a world where we don't see the conclusion of Zack Snyder's magnum opus of the Superman Justice League saga, but we get 6 scary movies. I refuse to live in that reality. Okay.
You're missing the Kings. The LA Kings were from they originated in LA. Yeah. The Dodgers are originally from Brooklyn. Oh fuck no. First of all, I consider myself from the actual city of LA. That's where I was living. The Angels are in Orange County. They're in Anaheim. Yeah, it's a greater Los Angeles area, but a lot of people in Anaheim and Orange County look down on us, LA, Los Angeles, so now and it was like I said, it was never it was never I grew up a Dodgers fan. My dad was one, and that's it.
Actually, I guess kind of tangentially related to what I just said, because this was a little bit of news today. with Miss Sasha Kaje from talking about her role as Supergirl in the Flash. When you see the Hollywood Reporter article saying Sasha Kaye signed a multi-year deal to protect Supergirl, so did Gunn staff to terminate the deal or buy out her contract. And Vince says, I think, well, that's true. Probably they're the only ones who would know or be privy to the details of all that. I mean, I'll say what I think Williams said the same thing as me. It's like I so badly want to see her and Henry Cavill team up.
I want to see the Kingdom Come movie because I wrote it for you guys. I wrote it for you guys. As in regard to her contract, I think is it is their end. The contract is on their end. I mean, these movies may never happen, but if they decide that they wanted to do one, she would be contracted to be available for it. So I don't think you really have to do anything with the contract goes. I don't, in my heart, I don't think that's the last time we're going to see her Supergirl. Like I said a few weeks back, your biggest route to that might be James Gunn because his mind works that way.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, go ahead, finish.
His mind works in ways that Warner Brothers executives do not. So you never know.
Well, that implies that Warner Brothers executives' minds have worked these last few years.
That's the stretch.
but kind of related to that, one thing I've also kind of thought about pertaining to a lot of that what you said. One thing, when David Ayer, when he kind of came back because he had the discussion about releasing his cut of Suicide Squad with Gunn, and one of the things he had said coming back from that was that Gunn had told him, I support you getting this out there, but I need to get some wins on the board. And this is not verbatim, but this is basically this.
Yeah, I got that vibe too, and you know what? This is where
is that could you theoretically extrapolate that beyond just the Ayer cut itself? Is like if the more wins he gets on the board, the more okay.
I think that he has to get some leverage behind him because right now he's just a guy with an idea in a movie that hasn't been released. The only movie, even though they loved him, enough to appoint him, the Mathematical Reality is the only feature-length movie that he's done. As good as I thought it was, lost him a lot of money. And right now, it's a different situation for them. They're going to need to start making some money somewhere. So I think that once so say Superman does, and this is hard for me because I don't know what their barometer of success.
What's their metric of success?
Yeah. So say Superman, let's say Superman does 800 million. James Gunn should whatever reins that they have on him should loosen up. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that
for a brand.
By any rational analysis. I mean,
rational skeptic.
Obviously you also got to we talk about how they're measuring success. You also got to measure in what their expenditure is on, and which we don't have that that number of what the budget is. But even that being said, and especially
800. Okay, so
and especially everything that's happened to DC these last few years. I mean, that's like the biggest DC movie, and that's not related to the Batman. And that's bigger than the Batman did, actually. If it did that, that's pretty awesome.
For me, if it does 500 million, given what you've done to the franchise, if you keep it at 185, 500 million, 500, 600 million should give you should let you know that you have something. But for the layman, which is a lot of their stockholders, 7 to 8, that kicks the door open, and now you're waiting for him. Now it's in his court to say, you want more of this? Let's do this. So yeah, when I believe him when he says that, and I think that goes for a lot of stuff that we may want to see. I mean, his mind works differently than an exec.
So yeah, because that thought has kind of been in my head. I mean, again, obviously that was that reporting or that how David Ayer described the parameters that James Gunn laid out for him. It's like how I could help you do this. It's that was how we laid it out. And, that my mind kind of has been on that. Like, it's like, okay, it's like, I mean, if that's how he sees it on the Ayer cut, is like, I mean, does that apply to anything else that, fans are clamoring for? And it's like, I mean, yeah, obviously we're not in the room with, a DC Studios, but it's something to think about, I thought. So,
yeah. And like I said, a lot of the people who want to do the whole fire James Gunn thing, I just don't think that gets us anywhere because your reasoning, what was he supposed to do? If he comes in and his ass is on the line for all this is his legacy. you wanted him to get that started with somebody else's stuff. I mean, your anger is aimed towards somebody else. But like I said, when it comes to all this, I say keep an open mind to this. I'm not, one way or another, keep an open mind for this. Just like for those of you guys who like Batman Beyond, like right now, there's no monetary reason for us to ever see that. Right?
And see, that's weird because it's like, given like his prior history of comic movies, like I would have expected him to direct a Batman Beyond movie before I would have expected to make a Superman movie.
Well, that's not going to be his mandate. There's no way in hell they would ever let him. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But I'm talking about like with the CBMs he made previously. Just if you were to ask me just randomly pick like what would you think like the next James Gunn comic movie would be, I would have picked Batman Beyond before I would have picked Superman.
He would have never been allowed to. He would have never been allowed to. They know that Batman with Bruce Wayne is a moneymaker. They're not going to put a Batman that could more than likely bomb because of that. As much as you Batman Beyond people, listen, I'm with you. I don't mind you getting a Batman Beyond live action movie. But in order for it to be not the one and done and crash, you need to build up the history of and build up the reality and the acceptance of Batman not being Bruce Wayne in the same way that Miles Morales as Spider-Man wasn't a shock to the system because they spent the last 12 years building it up. I can't see a studio giving anybody decent money to make that movie. You may as well take your shots with the Suicide Squad because if nobody goes and sees that movie, you're not taking their main money maker into a box office bomb. Because Batman with Bruce Wayne is $400 million. That's the bottom. That's the modern day Batman storytelling. $400 million is you should start with that. You should know as long as you don't make a really completely garbage Batman movie, and no one really has. Even if I disagree with Nolan movies, those are good movies. As far as that goes, they meet that criteria. That's all of it is in Matt Reeves. So you start at $400 million, but I don't think you're gonna have. I think you would do damage to the brand if you put a Batman movie out there that wasn't Bruce Wayne cold turkey, like not like say, So no, I don't think a Batman Beyond. Now he pulls in $800 million with Superman. Now we're like, okay, dude, you know what you're doing. You want to do Batman Beyond? We're just here to with the bag of money to fill up.
Well, and also, because we were talking about with the Green Lantern process, something like that. I mean, this that kind of relates also to like how Batgirl was, greenlit under. I think we mutually feel under poor decision making. I mean, whether or not you ultimately feel the movie was going to be good or not, it's kind of it was created an apparatus of just bad leadership and bad decision making, and
you lost me at let's do a Batgirl movie.
Well, not only that, but not just that, but also it's a Batgirl movie that is like the way it's being integrated in the franchise is that it's this multiverse offshoot of the story from the Flash, and then also like something Film Junkie had talked about is that apparently like the behind the scenes kind of idea of it was going to be like the idea was that it was going to be almost like Batgirl Beyond. That pretzel is fucking huge, man.
Now this isn't the actual size of the pretzel. This pretzel they had to cut it in half. Cut it.
Gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh my God in heaven.
Pretzel. That's what the pretzel is right there.
Wow.
I got two of these. Ellis Island. Listen, these may not be AMC size. I have to do some measurements. But this pretzel was beautiful. That's the actual size.
That pretzel is like the pretzel size.
Like I could literally listen. Look, watch this.
That pretzel is like the size of a tire swing. Oh my God.
That's how big they are. So yeah, and then yeah. So Ellis Island, we got food vouchers today, and I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to eat my food because the game was making me so sick. And then the Yankees fans was like throwing ice at me and stuff. We were having fun with each other, but I'm like, we were having fun. But I'm like, fucking 5 runs. And then it just kept getting worse. And then when it turned around, I had a headache. The headache, it's back now, but it went away. I'm exhausted. I shouldn't be streaming tonight, but I got some adrenaline go.
Well,
go ahead, finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
What was just talking about, like how Batgirl came about. Again, apparently, the idea was also that it's a Batgirl movie that's also it wasn't even like really greenlit as a Batgirl movie per se. It's greenlit as a let's use this as kind of like the pilot of the multiverse consequences of the Flash, and then also it's kind of a covert sort of Batgirl Beyond. So already you're not only are you taking like a support character, but you're twisting the character to something that just she was fundamentally never really meant to be, and just and you're using this as the foundation of something that really, I think we can all fairly say in hindsight was just the culmination of a lot of bad decision making. And it just goes back so much to like the question I asked so much is like, why did Hamada even want this job? I mean, I think it's very clear at this point the dude was not a DC fan going into this, or like a comic book fan of any real like significant.
Listen, he didn't want the job; he was assigned. New line, all that stuff. Yeah,
like.
he basically said, "This is your new job." I don't blame Hamada. I think when this just wasn't his thing, man. Hamada's really good at doing what he's really good at. Yeah, and you just can't. He just wasn't his thing. So a lot of the decision making that came from Hamada, he just wasn't suited for that job, and that's fine. So people like to hate on Hamada and the whole Ray Fisher thing. I will never be inside. I'm not the fly on the wall on that. And although I have no reason not to believe Ray Fisher, I also understand what the dynamics of coming into a situation that you didn't create. So there's a lot there, that, and that's fine. There's a lot more people that have your blame on that one. So, but yeah, when it comes to this, all I'm saying is when it comes to James Gunn, I think we've always been rewarded by patience and keeping an open mind. And I don't see anything to change there. I mean, if you don't want to go see the movie, don't go see the movie. But I think there's a shot here. I'm just saying.
Do you think? No, we did not. Well, that sounds about like that sounds pretty reasonable as far as your budget.
So Sony is high on this movie.
Yeah.
Sony execs are. I talked to somebody who gives us our Sony movie. They are high on this movie in ways that they were not. They abandoned Madam Web and all these other ones, and they basically abandoned. I've heard some people. One guy who I've been working with for a while that says it's the best non-Spider-Man Sony movie.
Really? Okay.
And you know what? I've seen the trailers. I've seen a couple of trailers now. I'm inclined to buy that at this point. Those trailers are fucking awesome.
This is what we're in for. I mean, this is what we're there for. We're like this, a lot of slashing, a lot of clawing. Yeah. That's what we want.
You bit a guy's nose off.
Exactly.
So, I'm already in, man. It's like, dude, this is my turkey, my woman in the oven turkey. This is that scene, and I'm like, okay, you're letting me know. Man. You're letting me know that this is where you're going.
Oh, I can't wait.
And the violence means something.
Yeah,
the violence means something. So.
I can't wait when we do that watch party this year for Thanksgiving.
Oh, we're just gonna watch we're literally, the movie's gonna take 4 hours to get through because I'm literally going to be. We're gonna do a breakdown. We're gonna be
dissecting that
and shit like Madden. Remember Madden used to do the telestrator? I'm gonna be all that. Okay, so this, when you look at it as this angle, how he fits her in there is. Let's watch it again. So,
this is gonna be
I'm gonna have fun with that one. But
something else I was actually gonna ask too, going back to the DC discussion, because one thing you've talked a lot about, and we've even like seen chatter now making it out there publicly now, and a lot of reporting, and of course I've written on this too, is the idea of, you think that a lot of just the business, the nature of the business, and the nature of how things are evolving, and of course the fact that the studio has never done itself any favors in the last several years, i.e. that's why their stock is in the toilet. Do you think also the James Gunn's Superman movie being a success, does that, because we talked a lot about licensing, like licensing the IP out to other streamers or other parties for stuff that would not necessarily be, and this is without getting into like talking about another merger, which of course we're still kind of anticipating. I think it's the writing's on the wall with that. But even that aside, do you think that this being success, do you think that, where do you think that kind of leaves something like that as far as like licensing to let's like do something like Batman Cape Crusader on Amazon, or let's do X, Y.
In the same space it does now. I think the value of the IP might go up a little bit more, but I think that I don't think that the current regime where they are now is going to be opposed to licensing if somebody offers them. Period. If somebody somewhere in a production company wants to put up the money and put up the production costs and all that, I think they would take that offer simply because it's money, it's profit.
Yeah.
Right now they're spending. Listen, they make money with movies, but they're spending a lot of money. It takes a lot of money on their end to make these movies. If you're just a fucking distributor and you're the licensee, you get your money off the top.
You cash in the check, and it's
and you keep the element of control, because even once you license it out, you can say, well, you can't do this, and the person, the licensor or licensee, has to agree to that. So I think it's just a matter of I don't think the Superman's success will affect it one way or another. I just think it's the dollar amount that they get offered. That's what I think.
Well, because it could be, it could be an $800 million hit. It could be it could be, it could be like a $2 billion movie. That's not going to come in. You're just scratching the surface of like this company's financial woes. If it were like bigger than Endgame, it's like it would, you're taking $2 billion off of a company that's $48 billion in debt or whatever it is.
Yeah, but if I take you like so say for instance, like a Christopher Nolan were to come back and say Ben Affleck, I'm just throwing this out there. Don't go be texting me. And by the way, quit fucking with me in the comments, guys. Quit fucking with me in the comments. I'll get to that later. So somebody,
MX like this?
No, this we made that person go away.
Okay.
And it takes a lot for me to make someone go away.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, if like an Amazon or somebody said, you know what, we want to do with Batman like we did Lord of the Rings. We want to do something completely different on our own thing. Here's $500 million. Here's $500 million for an 8 episode. It's for the rights to do this, and then we'll do the production costs like that. $500 million off the top, which means you're not paying the production cost. Someone else is. So you get that $500 million, no matter, that's yours. That's just a licensing fee. And if it goes anywhere else, you control, since you own the character, you control the distribution. If there are toys, like I said,
you get merchandising.
You get merchandising money. So, you could be talking about a good chunk of change that you didn't have to spend a lot of your capital to get. So that's a problem when you're in debt. For when you do things that make you good money, the debt drags down your dollar. So you're spending a lot more just to make that dollar. When you license it out, you're not doing that because you are not the one spending the money. So I think the reality of money will eventually happen. And then, like I said, I expect maybe James Gunn will be a part of that. Because DC, remember, and there's another thing that I realized, that DC Studios and DCU aren't necessarily the same thing. Something can happen in DC Studios and not be in the DCU. That's happening right now.
Well, that's with the Penguin series and with the Matt Reeves stuff, and the Christopher Reeve documentary that's distributed by DC Studios. So that thought is again going off of the thing with Sashi Kaede. A couple of those thoughts have been on my head as it relates to James Gunn.
If I ever get a chance to meet James Gunn, I'm going to ask him, dude, would you consider just a Big Bang movie somewhere like that, tie it into your shit? But just a Big Bang movie where like I said, you get the problem is
trying to go to Comic-Con next year, and it would not, especially if this movie,
Lloyd Kaufman will be here next week.
It's true. Is a Trouble Connection. Yeah.
Here's a problem though. The biggest problem with that, it has nothing to do with James Gunn or Zack Snyder or anybody else. One of the biggest elements that would make this work, he just won't shut up. Fucking Zachary Levi, my God.
It's like he's.
You have an opinion. You have a right to opinion. You have a right to express your opinion.
And I've said before, it's like I know people. I've got friends. I've got colleagues. I've got people in the industry I've connected to that I respect. I have family members who I can confirm, I know, I've talked to them, are Trump supporters, but they're not reminding me every other hour of the day that they are, or everybody else. And I can't want
Zachary Levi. Am I frozen? No, I'm frozen. Listen, listen, Trump. I don't. That's not the controversial part. Even before I knew that about him, the whole bashing everybody after Shazam: Fury of the Gods, the way he acts.
Oh yeah, that meltdown video was pretty. It was
You want to be a Trump supporter? That's fine. The way you articulate, the way he articulates things, no matter what it is, it's like, dude, nobody's gonna want to hire you. So if we get this movie going, he's a big part of it. I want him facing Sashi Kaede. But I can't. I would literally have to recast him because he's I think at this point it's like he is. We talk about, like, you don't think we've seen the last of Henry or Sasha or The Rock or any of the Snyderverse, Justice League or JSA characters. Like, he's the one, and it's not about his political links. It's about how his meltdown he's had, and it all started with his last Shazam movie. I mean, I remember watching that Instagram video he put out. And it's
this is why I say it's like I think the dude's in kind of a downward spiral. I mean, it's like
Maybe he needs help. Maybe he needs help.
if I were a family or friends, like I'd be concerned about it's like that's and he's talked before. It's like he's written a memoir. He's talked about he's dealt with depression. He's dealt with mental health
That's
issues.
fine. That's good to know. That's good to know. And here's the thing. I sign you up for this movie, Zachary Levi. You gotta sign something here. You gotta sign a gag order or something like that to where you can't become the story. And see, that's the only thing. I don't care what an actor's or actress' opinions are. They have the right to them. Like I always say, they are tax-paying American citizens in most cases. They can have an opinion. They are allowed to express an opinion. Here's the thing, though. Even you can express your opinion in a way that doesn't make you the story. See, once you become the story, you hurt my movie. I'm trying to make a movie. I'm trying to promote a movie. I'm trying to get a movie financed. Once you become the story and just to detract from that, then I can't use you, even if I agree with you. There have been some people whose political leanings I agree 100%, but I can't have them expressing that in a way that drags my movie down. It's a business, so I hope he gets better.
Yeah, so, and Music Man Tans. Yeah, this is what was. Well, I mean, we don't know what ultimately is the quote unquote problem. I mean, again, as I said, it's like I got friends, I got people. It's like I'm not cutting ties with anybody because of who they're voting for. It's like but that is like it's kind of like that's it's just like one like that part of it is it's just been one just component of just a snowball effect he's had since Shazam Fury of the Gods, where I think the dude is literally going through a bit of a mental health crisis. I mean, I think if I were a family or friend, I would be concerned about. I would consider staging an intervention. I mean, he is really having a very public meltdown. I would argue in some ways it's worse than what happened with Ezra Miller.
All right. By the way, we're platforming Ezra Miller, apparently. I'll tell you about that later. You probably didn't see those comments. It's hilarious. What? It's the person we made disappear.
Okay.
Question.
By the way, Ezra was exonerated for the grooming accusations. Ezra was exonerated.
We weren't platforming Ezra Miller. I was promoting a movie. I was promoting a movie that we were being commissioned to promote. Ezra Miller was in the movie. So anyway, question for William and Brad: do you think it was a mistake? I think, Chappie, you should already know the answer to this.
Of course, you don't think it was a mistake.
I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was a mistake on the studio's end not to get behind it and for him to have to fight it that long. That's all.
Yeah. I think The Rock during that period, I would argue The Rock was like the closest thing they had to leadership within the studio and the IP at the time. Which
is not good because The Rock is not a studio head. But he saw an opening and he that shouldn't have been there and he took it.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Tell me again this Ezra Miller complaint though that you were referring to.
We had a person who is just being like, I don't know why, going through all of our old streams and digging up streams from like a year and a half ago and stuff and saying
because we like the Flash movie, they're mad or something.
Well, they said we were platforming Ezra Miller and that it was just a bunch of stuff. Then one of the things and Ben's got rid of him before I even had a chance to. One of the things was that we're never going to grow as a channel. We had 174 followers on November 1st.
Yeah.
We're closing in on we're over 1,100 now. So we've grown 1,000 followers. We've gotten monetized since then.
We've raised $15,000 for AFSP.
Yeah. So I looked at the guy. Like I said, I'll show you because they still show up on my thing.
Yeah, that's like what the hell, man.
I said, you've made it when we got trolls.
Yeah, but as I said, like Ezra was also, and the father of the individual Ezra was accused of kidnapping or grooming. I mean, he came on Instagram and said, "Yeah, I realized I was duped there. We've mended fences." So Ezra was exonerated on that. Really,
and that wasn't huge news, by the way.
Yeah, it should have been huge news when it's like when somebody's exonerated for something like that. But so really, it's like when you take that out of it, like Ezra. I mean, yeah, Ezra had had a bit of a crisis and got in a couple of bar fights. Basically, is what it really boils down.
Fucking Anthony Starr.
Yeah, it's Homelander.
Put a bottle over guy busted a bottle over a lady's head.
He turned into Homelander in real life for a minute.
So
he forgot he wasn't playing Homelander.
Yeah, and he's doing just fine. I don't take that kind of shit towards women. But if you guys weren't ready to put him on a skewer, then any of that. But yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to get with you offline because I want to show you the comments. It's hilarious.
Yeah, please, because I this sounds so
Casual fan, what up, everybody? I've been supporting from afar. Thank you. Any support I'll take. I want to get my opinion real quick. It's why I believe that eventually WB will release a Snyderverse to Netflix as its own separate thing. Like I said, it could come down to money. Now, here's another thing, though. James Gunn might sit down with Zack Snyder. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you're talking about a guy who's not, his brain doesn't work like fans like that. If you're going to get something out of the box, this guy's probably going to be the one to give it to you.
One, also
that idea is outside of the corporate box. So.
One, also he doesn't. I mean, unlike the previous administration, I mean, and I've had criticisms of James Gunn at various points. But one thing that's very clear also is that unlike the previous administration, he did not have a personal grudge against the man and his fan base either.
Yeah, he just needs. I think James Gunn needs to communicate differently. But that's a different stream. Yeah. He told us we were a niche. Like, of course this is a niche. Like, literally, you nice science fiction or
it's in the it's in the channel. Yeah.
I'm gonna send you all the comments because
please show me these, man. I gotta read these.
Yeah, but still though, in real life, you're whacking a lady over.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you don't need it. Like it's fantasy and reality, two different things. Oh. Yeah, we should do. I mean, I think we should do probably like around the time the last episode airs.
That's what I was thinking, between episode 8 and 9, or do we want to watch the finale and then do the Batman?
Yeah, we could do either way. I think.
Wednesday. Well, I'll figure it out. I got to look at the calendar to see exactly where it ends, though. But we do need to do it. Because, like I said, everything I love about Penguin, I loved about the Batman. And in fact, I didn't get to go, and I only had 2.5 hours to the Batman. I've had 6 episodes. I'm still getting over that scene where Sophia is sitting down with the hooker. That intense conversation that they had, and her fate. I mean, yeah, she's she's looked down upon a society because she's a prostitute and she's a madam and all that. But when it came down to it, she was there to protect her girls, her friends, and the mutual respect you could feel there between them two. And Sophia is she's envious. Nobody ever stuck up for me. Nobody ever stuck up to me. You're willing to die. I came here to kill you. You accepted that. You had me sent up here. You were willing to die so that your girls wouldn't go harm. They threw her in an asylum. Nobody gave 2 shits about her except for her brother, and he's dead. Everybody's betrayed her. Everybody's screwed her over. Everybody's pretty much, just underestimated all that. So she's looking across the room at this girl who's willing to take a bullet right then and there, as long as her girls don't go bad. And I really love that scene. I love that scene. Like I said, my second favorite scene in the show is when he walks out on when what's his face walks out on Penguin. And when you feel, I think that when Victor walks out on, because I think of all the screwing and all the relationships and all the lying that he does, I think the truest thing he has is his relationship to Victor. And he was generally upset when he thought that basically the only reason you're around is because if you don't do what I say, I kill you. He thought he had earned his trust to that point. That's why he was so mad, and he put the gun up his head and he just said, go. And then when he comes back. So those are my 2 favorite interactions of the show. And you can't get that in the Batman. It's just not enough time.
God, but I just saw this one. The guy we were just talking about, this is a headline on Deadline. In his latest Instagram live rant, Zachary Levi responded to Whoopi Goldberg's criticism. Yeah, that's the same thing we were saying 5 minutes ago. Like, dude, you said, this is a democracy. It's like people are allowed to support whatever candidate they want to, voice their political opinion they want to. We on the show will never demonize anybody for that, as long as it involves swastikas and white hoods. But you, like you said, you can't.
Never mind.
But again,
let me put this pretzel in my mouth.
But again, you can't be the story, as William was saying, and as I said, it's like I really think of like the failure of Shazam: Fear of the Gods, which overall I like the movie. And I like his.
I liked it. I loved the first one.
The first one is the better of the two. But I think that really did a number on him. I think that really and I think also a lot of it was also because I think in his mind he thought I think that he thought he was even with the changeover that he was still going to. I don't know if this is something
He
Gunn
was going to be
Maverick
retained over, but if he just would stop talking, that's still a chance for that.
Mhm.
There's nothing saying that James Gunn couldn't do something with these characters, or that they could be licensed out. I know a lot of fanboys keep saying that, but how many times have they been wrong over the last 2 years? This will never happen. This will never happen. You guys are delusional. They'll never license a Batman property of any kind to anybody, and then we got one license out. Matt Reeves' universe is going to get folded in. That's going to be done because James Gunn's the boss now, and here we go. We got more. So at some point, we just got to stop listening.
It's so weird to me. I still keep seeing people who want that too. Like, why do you want?
Why do I want the Batman to fail?
Yeah, exactly. Or why do you want Matt Reeves to walk?
I don't want James Gunn to fail. Listen, if I don't like his movies, I just won't go see him again. And you know what? He's creating a universe with a diverse group of people doing it, dude. I will lie. I will tell you whatever lie you want to hear from me to get to Damon Lindelof's Lanterns. I don't care if I go into Superman and it's dudes with my car with an S and a cape. You know what I'm going to say at the end of it? Once the credits
When's
done?
Lanterns coming?
When's Lanterns?
Which, by the way, we did get a little bit of news on that today. It wasn't like big news, but I think it was they have their like executive producer. They have one of their head writers on board now. So again, it wasn't like new casting news, but it was like a little bit of extra. Like here's kind of the production team coming together. So there's a little bit on there on Lanterns, but
I would not have put Shazam in the Rock. The two movies are two different tones. I would not have put them together. I know a lot of people. They should have had the same. No. The movie for them to come together would have been Kingdom Come. Won't still happen. Just stop talking.
And I like God. I love Black Adam. It's like even putting even if it hadn't had the Superman cameo, I had a blast with Black Adam. I just enjoyed the hell out of it.
I had fun with Black Adam.
Yeah.
And I thought that under different circumstances, if things hadn't been going on, if James Gunn would have said no again, everybody's like, well, Black Adam didn't perform at the box office. So that's why I didn't know, was it? James Gunn's movie didn't perform at the box office.
Yeah, Black Adam made twice as much as the Suicide Squad. So, and apparently the reporting is, I don't know what the stats are for HUMX this year, but like last year, Black Adam was the reporting I saw, I think it was from Hollywood Handle, said it's the most streamed movie on HUMX, during 2023.
Here's how: if James Gunn says no, I don't want to do this, then Abdi and DeLuca continue along what he was doing. That's the difference here. They look at box office.
Exactly.
Office. Yeah. No, if James Gunn says no,
which by the way, he initially did because they wanted him to do business and creative.
Yeah, if it stays no, then those two will go on the trajectory that they were already on. So people are full of shit.
Yes, but he also is a Superman adversary, and there's like precedent in animation and in the comics for he and Superman being enemies. So it's like
the problem is the tone of the Shazam movies weren't headed. You would have to adjust the tone or create a neutral tone or a neutral setting for his. You would have to change Zachary Levi's character to like I said, in a Kingdom Come where Mr. Mind gets control of him, I thought that would have been better. But hey, you know what? Who knows? We don't need to name that guy. No, let's not name that guy in here.
Oh, and who was up here said, let me see if I can find it. Vince says he was also on Jarbo's channel saying either Jarbo or his guest AG were uneducated. I think this guy's making the rounds as a troll. It's like, well, I mean, that's what trolls do.
Yeah, that's literally like they're trolling. So I just thought it was hilarious because I'm like, I started interacting. Like I said, we don't have to agree for me to interact with you. Just don't waste my time. All right, just don't waste my time with just dumb stuff. And don't just don't waste. Just don't do it. I mean, my time is short and it's valuable. So is yours. Just not waste each other's time on that one.
Yeah. Oh God. Of course, actually, Jiroga is doing a little bit of trolling of me right now himself. Well, I'm not. Yeah, okay. If that's the answer you're looking for, no, I'm not. I never will be.
This is what I want to see. Like, here's the thing, though. I want to see that battle. I want to see that battle. I want to see it in Kingdom Come. If you're going to do a Kingdom Come where you're not going to do it 20 years, don't. I don't want to see a Kingdom Come like kind of like what they're going with right now, where maybe the Authority and all that other stuff takes the place of the anti-heroes. I don't want to see that. If you're going to do a Kingdom Come, let's use a classic classic ways to do it. If you're not going to do it 20 years in the future, you know, I would rather Kingdom Come be what ended the DCEU. And I got too many shitheads and assholes, you know, pundits are like, we just need to blow it all up. Just blow it all up. Saying let's blow it all up is easy. Dealing with the consequences and faith of your customers is something that fanboys don't think about. We don't think about the consequences of business decisions, and blowing things up and rebooting and things like that. Those are business decisions. We just mush the hammer, you know, and the hamsters in our head to like, well, it'll be all better once we reboot. There's consequences to that. If somebody was following what you were doing and all of a sudden you pulled the rug from under them, you think you think they're not going to think twice about coming back to you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I think everything should be on the table. But here's the thing: I'm willing to give James Gunn time because we're in a different. We're not in the same company that Zack Snyder got shitted on. That's not the same company, not the same structure. So I got to give him. I'm willing to give him a shot. I'm not going to like all the stuff, but I like some of it, I guess.
And by the way, something else I've been thinking about too, because I mean, apparently, well, Zach, you know, we already knew he's got the 300 prequel series in the works of WB. He's also got the UFC movie he's doing, which of course I'm very, very excited for.
Sorry, Zach, I love you, but this is not my genre.
But
as he should have. Go ahead.
Well, that's one. Because I don't think it's not really clear like who he's, because there's a lot of speculation that he's kind of moving on from Netflix now. That's not official, but I mean, I'm just saying it's like because there's also talk about it's like, oh, you know, Jay Oliva was quoted saying, yeah, the Army of the Dead animated series kind of got canned. And it seems like, yeah, they might be kind of he and Netflix might be parting ways. So, you know, there's
did Jay Oliva say that?
He's or talk about the Las Vegas animated series. He said, yeah, Netflix apparently pulled the plug on that series. But he didn't say that the Netflix Zack Snyder relationship has ended, but that's, you know, again, that's what a lot of the kind of the inference, and I know you're not a big fan of that. I'm just saying that that's out there. You know, the inference and speculation is that you know, that the whole, after like the Rebel Moon experiment of like putting out the alternate cuts at different times, maybe didn't work as well as they had thought it. They wanted it to, so they might Zach might be, you know, working with another party now, and so that's where I'm wondering with this UFC thing. Okay, it's because it's not made clear yet what studio or party he's doing that with. It's like, I mean, could that be Warner Brothers too? And then if you
Netflix, I don't believe the Netflix stuff.
Well, but so going to the UFC thing though, it's like, okay, so if that's with Warner Brothers, then that's now 2 future projects he has in the works with the studio he had a pretty epic falling out with. So yeah, there's also something to consider there with everything we're saying about like the you know, everything the fandom's clamoring for as far as like including his DC saga.
That's a long stretch though. I'd be careful though. I mean, I'd love to see it to come to fruition. That's a long stretch. You know, where we're at now versus where that would be is a long stretch.
Well, what I'm getting at though is that when you talk about like the studio is not the studio it was when he got kicked the curb. Well, yeah, like as evidenced by the fact that he's working with them again.
Yeah, but that particular IP getting to the point where that IP is viable again. Once again, remember what I always say, we're so far beyond when we first got this thing that you would have to answer the questions of viability before it was even brought up in the conversation. And we need to find out data. Like I said, we went through this before as far as like, how do we find out if it's a viable storyline that the general public is still interested in? Well, before I ask you for $200 million.
Well, I mean, we personally didn't get that, but they got some of that with the.
We're biased, yeah. We're biased.
They got those numbers on how the McFarlane toys, just blew up for them. So that's
now. But the most important thing for me is comics, not because I'm biased for comic books. I am. But the units sold gives you somewhat of an indication or a sampling of what you could possibly expect on other platforms. You know, so right now, I just don't think there's enough data even with him. He could be working for Warner Brothers right now. And you'd have to, and then, like I said, I'm not saying that there's not data out there. We just haven't compiled it. We just don't have it on the table yet in order to say, you know, let's do this. Whenever you want somebody to do something like that, why? You know, where's the money in it? So I think that you know, just Zack Snyder coming back and doing some projects for DC. That's you're still light years away from that kind of possibility even being remote. Now, say for a conversation where it says we know we're interested in doing this, and then we hear about it. But as far as like it becoming a reality, where's the money? Where's the money in it? What is the return on their investment at this point in 2024? Now, that question is a very answerable question, but we don't have the tools to answer it right now. We just have our voices in hopes that it happens. I'm telling you, that's why all these people who fight me on it needs to be live action, it can't be good. No, you need some wins here. You need a case to build. Yeah, you need some case. You need a case to build. So like I said, the toys are good, but we need to know that somebody is still interested in the story en masse, and not just us.
Well, that's also why I think also everybody's really still pretty gung ho about the idea of the theater run. So I mean that's data. Even if it's like a Fathom event's like one night thing, that's still data you can dissect and extrapolate and put under the microscope.
Yeah, but it's like trying to get a blood sample out of like a quarter of a drop. You want a whole vial. See, a comic book series gives you an entire vial. It gives you so much ammo to go with. Because one day at a movie theater or 2 days in a movie theater, okay, great. That's data, but it's not enough. So, but if I tell you 12 issues over the course of a year and add-ons and second and third printings, I now have a lot of. Not only do I have data, I have data over time, and it's a stronger case because now, like I said, you're wanting people to spend real money. And that's why I always say, man, let's just get that story out in paper. You're not going to lose anything. If it bombs, comic books bomb all the time.
They don't bomb the way the movies bomb, though. Yeah,
they don't bomb, but they don't have the consequences the way movies do too. See, that's the good part. If I make a comic and it don't sell, you know what? You're not taking it in the nuts. You make a movie that doesn't sell, yeah, somebody's going to disappear. You might get Howard the Duck. That
doesn't usually happen that badly.
Yeah, but when it's a comic book, you know what? Comic book, there's so many reasons a comic book could fail that guys go on to different products. It doesn't hurt their career, So I think the data over time, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get that data. And then if it does well, now you got some toys. Now once this thing starts rolling, you have 3 or 4 things that you walk into that office with. And you lay it down on the table, now you're not going to get thrown out of the office. The conversation we have right now when it comes to Snyder stuff, we're getting thrown out the office if we even get an appointment. So I'm just saying there's ways to go about this. We want the same thing.
Well, anyway, but just the reason I just kind of was fixated also on the or maybe not fixated is the right word, but just bringing up the 300 series and the theoretical possibility that the UFC movies with Warner Brothers and it's again it just plays into what you were saying earlier about also the studio in terms of leadership is it's not the studio that actively hates its guts anymore.
Well, yeah, none of the people there are there. Those people are gone. I mean, Abdi and DeLuca have worked with him before.
He spoke very highly of them as far as like organizing the Full Circle event.
Yeah, Sarnoff and Emmerich were your 2 main problems because they took it. See, you made the Cardinal sin in business. You took it personal. You took what a percentage of the fans said, and you took it personal. You're the adult in the room. They're the snot-nosed kids. It's your job to ignore them. It's your job as the executive to listen to the noise and dissect and parse out what you can use going forward. If they're not giving you anything to use, then you need to fucking ignore them. You don't need to respond. You're an exec. You should never be responding to that. I don't care if somebody asks you the question. You'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna defer that to so and so, but I don't really have anything. You've deferred that. You don't get caught up in the whole us versus toxic fans. You're never gonna win that. That was stupid, and I'm not condoning what the fans are doing because they were acting like absolute shitheads. But I hold the executive to a higher account as far as taking the shit personally and everything else. You're making millions of dollars. And just come on, just act like you belong in the office that you inhabit. Yeah. So I don't think that's the situation here right now.
Yeah.
So I think you're fine.
But yes, I'm definitely very much looking forward to that UFC movie, obviously. So we'll see. We'll see.
How did he do that, Kat? I mean, I know this is a legit question. How did he? The only way I see he could do it amongst our fandom was by taking the job at all. So. All right. Any other non-Snyder stuff we got going on? Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody? This is your hour, guys. I got about 2 more minutes left because I was only going to be under about an hour.
I saw it. Actually, I know. Actually, yeah, I just more craziness with the election. Apparently, there's a headline of Biden 81 bites baby dressed as a chicken during White House Halloween event.
I'm going to be so happy when Tuesday is gone.
Oh, God, that's yeah. I have a degree in political science. It's like I used to think I was going to be working campaigns. It's like I can't imagine doing. I'm so much happier working like entertainment journalism and
I need
martial arts and.
I need the whole country to do better, though. I'm going to leave it at that. I need the whole country to take a look at all of our generations that did the work, that got us here. Guys like my dad, guys like my grandfather, guys like all of your grandfathers, people like that literally helped build the country and built the stature of the country out of what it is. You have to start taking this thing seriously. It's this, one way or another, regardless to where you lean. I do not believe in the last 10 years that we take what we have seriously. I got people who don't vote. I got people who come up with asinine reasons for doing one thing or another. And I just want you guys, some of you guys, if you're in foreign countries, let some of these guys know. Some of you guys, if you've never been to a third country, where we don't have a third world country, where they don't have stuff like this, or you don't get a say in how your country is ran, they would give all of their limbs and crawl over here on what's left to be a part of what we have. And we just don't take it seriously. We actually make a joke out of our political system. We either don't get involved or we make a joke out of it. And to me, both of those answers are wrong. That's just my opinion. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up here because, like I said, this stream wasn't supposed to happen, but it did.
Well, because again, which team?
Dodgers won the World Series. If the Yankees won, out of that.
And tomorrow we are doing the watch party of Nosferatu. So for Halloween.
Yes, we are. Oh wow, damn! Thank you for reminding me. I got to make that fucking. I got to make that thumbnail. And I guess I know it's public domain, but I got shitty internet, so even I don't know if I want to put it on my screen because of the, you know what I mean? Because if it pauses, then we have to keep waiting on me. But I'll figure it out. All right, guys. Thanks for coming to this impromptu. Dodgers win the World Series. I didn't even get a chance. I was going to put a World Series chant, but I'm like, I just get this done. Let's do a fun movie. We might do more than one. Who knows? Okay. All right, guys.
It's not going to be a scary movie, if anyone's suggesting that.
That's what it is. It's going to be a scary movie marathon.
Yeah, but not of the scary movie franchise.
Of the scary movie.
No, it won't.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow for Nosferatu and maybe a surprise movie.
Try you later.
See, now we're going to do scary movies. The Yanks 1-2 Yanks are coming for you. You know what the Yanks are coming for? Their bags so that they can clean out their lockers and go home. That's where the Yanks are going.